Hey, what's happening, nation? It's SJ. We've made it through the first 6 weeks of football. It has been bizarre, to say the least. We have lost our head coach. The injury bug has completely bit us in the ass. But yet this team persists on, and we are sitting at 4-2 right now, looking pretty damn good going into our next couple weeks. Thought it would be cool to come out tonight and take a look at a few of our key pieces and take a look at their stat lines and just kind of see what they're trending towards going further into the season. I think predicting how some of these guys' seasons will end, if they stay healthy and everything works out, could kind of show you exactly what this team is made of and how it'll look at the end of the season. Definitely hit me up. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think some of these stat lines are going to be. But we're not going to waste too much time. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into it. If you are new to the channel, if you think about subscribing, I really would appreciate that. It really does help me out and keeps my little channel growing. All right, we'll start off with DC. He has been playing exceptional football so far this season. He is 50 yards away from being at that 2,000 yard mark. The exception of the Bears in that Chargers game, he has been completely lights out. If his stat line stays on the way that it is right now, and I truly, honestly believe that he's going to hit these numbers, Derek Carr will be over 5,000 yards passing. He will be between that 28 to 30 yard touchdown mark, and he'll have between 8 to 10 picks at the end of this season. There is not a doubt in my mind that he could pull that shit off. And that is a quarterback that I would be happy to have on my team at any given season. I don't know how many people would argue with that. I'm really hoping that his stat line continues to progress the way that it has throughout this season. I would love to see him just put up a blockbuster season, especially with it being a contract year for him. Plus, if he has that kind of year, we are a definite deep playoff team. Keep slinging that thing, DC. I totally got your back. I always have and I always will. Jumping into that running back room, we're going to start with Josh Jacobs. His stat line has not been too glorious. He was banged up for a couple of weeks. I really think he's going to end up bouncing back and putting up better numbers, but if he stays trending on what he is on right now, where he's only rushed for over 50 yards in one game, he's on pace to finish right now with about 115, 120 carries, probably sitting around that 650, 700 yard mark. He'll probably end up having like 25 or 30 receptions, but he's going to end up with like 12 touchdowns, so I'll take that shit all day long. I really think once he gets fully healthy, that yardage will increase dramatically. He has a shot at going over 1,000 yards. I think those few weeks he missed are really going to hurt him. If he can stay healthy, he should be able to do it. We'll just have to see how much playtime he gets and how much he can stay on the field. I personally don't believe he's going to get over that 1,000 yard mark. I think he's going to be right around that 850 to 900, but I really do think he's going to finish with double-digit touchdowns. Finishing up that running back room with Kenyan Drake, I was honestly expecting him to be a much larger part of this offense, and I really think moving forward he is actually going to be. But as it stands right now, he's only on pace to rush for about 500 yards this season. He's already carried the ball 28 times this year, so he'll probably end up somewhere right around that 80 carry mark by the end of the season. He already does have 15 receptions on the season. That does put him right around that 75 to 80 category by the time the season ends if he continues to stay active in the passing game, and that grows a little bit. I honestly think he has an outside shot of all-purpose yardage actually hitting 1,000 yards, but I do not think he will do it either in the receiving game or the rushing game exclusively. I know we are all expecting a hell of a lot more out of Kenyan Drake, and I do think it's going to happen. It's just going to take a little bit more time. But if he stays on the course that he's on right now, it's not going to be the most stellar stat sheet by the end of this season. I'm praying that Greg Olsen gets him more involved into this offensive scheme on a weekly basis. Jumping into that wide receiver room, we have to talk about Hunter Renfrow. This kid has been the MVP of our season so far. He has done everything. He is making plays. He is doing returns. He has been completely balling out, and him and Carr have one of the best rapport in football right now. He's on pace right now to finish with about 80 to 85 catches. He has a legitimate shot at being a 1,000 yard receiver this season, but I think he's going to end up around that 850 to 925 mark, and he's going to end up with 5 or 6 touchdowns. Hunter Renfrow is arguably the best slot receiver in football, hands down, around the league. This kid was a hidden gem, and the fact that him and Carr have such a chemistry only makes him better on the field. I am pulling for this kid to break 1,000 yards. I really think he has a shot to do it. So Renfrow, you know I'm pulling for you, and you know damn well Derek Carr is going to throw you the ball, so let's make this happen and finish this season strong. Next receiver I want to talk about is Henry Ruggs. His stat line honestly amazes me. He only has 20 catches on the season, but he's already over 400 yards on the season. There is not a doubt in my mind that he's going to be over 1,000 yards this season. I honestly put him right around that 11 to 1,200 yard mark with probably about 6 or 7 touchdowns. He's only going to have about 60 receptions when it's all said and done. That is a crazy stat line to have. I really hope we get him more involved in the offense on more of a play-to-play basis. But even if he just keeps doing exactly what he's doing right now, he's going to end up having a hell of a season. I know a lot of people had their doubts about Ruggs last season. I kept trying to talk him up, keep everybody hyped up about him. I think he's really starting to show what he can bring to this team. I think the size that he put on and the little bit extra strength that he has, you see him trying to run through people instead of just taking off out of bounds. He's been able to stay healthy this season, which has been a true bonus for him. It'll be extremely nice to have a true 1,000-yard receiver back on this team for Derek Carr, especially since we are opening up that passing game a little bit more. So Ruggs, keep stretching that field and keep opening this shit up. I am loving every second of your play so far this season, and it seems like you and Carr are starting to actually build that rapport, and I am super excited to see that. Finishing up tonight with Darren Waller, this is the one stat line that I do not believe is going to continue to trend the way that it is. I'm really expecting his numbers to take a huge jump now that Greg Olsen has taken over this offense and Derek Carr is just going to be slinging this ball around. If his stat line continues to trend the way that it has so far through these first 6 games, he's going to finish right around that 85-yard catch mark. He's going to have right around 1,000 yards. I think he'll definitely get over. He'll only finish with about 6 or 7 touchdowns, and there is no chance in hell that Darren Waller lets that happen. I guarantee you he's going to be around that 100 reception mark. He's going to be over that 1,000-yard mark. It'll probably be around the 12 to 1,300-yard mark, and then he's going to finish. I really want to say that he's going to finish with double-digit touchdowns. I'm not sure if he's going to get there, but I put him right around that 8 or 9 mark. I think the more and more that Ruggs and Edwards show that they demand the respect on the outside of the field, it's only going to open up Waller and Renfrow more. That's why I'm saying those guys are definitely both going to hit that 1,000-yard mark. And we're starting to see it happen. This offense is honestly heading in the right direction. Everything is working on all cylinders right now. This offense can come out and continue to establish the passing game first and then work the run in behind that. There is very few teams in this league that will be able to stop us, especially with the way that Carr can sling that ball around and the powerful running game that we do have. I understand our offensive line is still kind of jacked up and we're working on it. We brought in Fluker, which is nice to see. He's on the practice squad. We'll have to see if he moves up to the active roster or not. But over the past 2 weeks, I've honestly seen a decent amount of growth out of our offensive line. It seems like they're starting to come together and gel a little bit. I'm telling y'all, we have a top 10 offense on this team right now. We have the weapons, we have the pieces, we have the speed, we have the explosiveness, and we have one of the better quarterbacks in the league, whether people want to admit it or not. That's pretty much what I have for you guys tonight. Let me know if you want to see me do this with the defensive side of the ball. So until next time, guys, I'm SJ, and we will catch you on the next one.